All right, so welcome to today's meeting. Let me do a cover up for what we've learned thus far, in case of those that are joining us for the first time. So what we've learned previously from our PowerPoint here regarding our training for testing and integration. So for testing and integration, what we've learned testing and integration in software, and we've seen how systems are interconnected together. So what we are seeing testing and integration and testing as a career path, like a job. It's a part of a job description. Yeah, so it is found in jobs like computer, like software engineering, maintenance job. Like if you want to get DevOps jobs, so you always find systems integrations, system testing. So in case you see tags like jobs offered that have tags like system integration, system testing, troubleshooting or system maintenance, what again? Once you see those tags, because most times the jobs offers are always very funny. They don't come, sometimes they come with a very strange English wording. So you have to be able to decode it to know the deep description, the job description per se. So within the job description, you might see things like this. And also this cut across a part of what system admin does, system administrator does, because in this our course, we've covered a depth of in systems like Windows operating system and the Linux operating system. We are currently on the Linux operating system. So, we've taken it based on components. So we've looked at components of integration and testing. We've taken component of system. First start with the in the networking component. We have the system component, system resources components. So the system resources component, which has to do with API. API will be the last thing we'll be taking. The more we enter into this training, the more in-depth we are gaining, the more mile we are gaining day by day. All right, so now we are still on system components and networking. So system components, as we did last week, is it covers knowing basic system parts and directory level of directory based on system based on directory, just like your mobile phone. You could know that this is my D drive, this is where my apps data are stored. You could know that this is where my WhatsApp pictures are stored. It is per that we've been able to check, been able to bring training regarding system. Sometimes we use our laptop, we just boot it on, we go to my documents, go to pictures, save in pictures, save things in download. But we really need to know from which part are these things coming from. We really need to know it in depth, you get. So we're able to see, we're able to check through Windows last week, command prompt on Windows. We're able to understand parts, part of directory. Directory is the same thing as folder, yeah. So we were able to, we learn how to create folder, how to create a file from the command prompt, and we're able to identify that what you could see on your Windows, your screen is what we call GUI, the graphics user interface. So the graphics user interface is interfacing, is a graphics enabler that interfaces with the core components of the operating system. So which means the originality of any computer is from the kernel. The kernel can be accessed through the command prompt. You get the command prompt. That is where you lay commands to the computer. You're able to have access to the operating resources, operating system resources. So you think you could you could create folder and create folder in a particular directory, in a particular path, could create files, and we're able to understand different files, extension based on extension, able to understand TXT, TXT file. Every file must have an extension. It's used to define a file. We also understand, your application that run on Windows, it use is .exe, executable file. It's an executable file. yeah, .exe that runs all your application. You have games, anything runs as an exe on Windows. So we were able to do that on Windows, and we moved briefly to Linux last week. So I was able to access a Linux server through my shell through SSH. So let's look at what is SSH. SSH. So what does SSH mean? Because I'm able to access my my Linux server through SSH. SSH is the secure shell. Secure shell. Yeah, so it's for network communication. It's a network communication protocol. All right. So now, what we have mostly on the cloud per se is a robust Linux server that is used to serve internet resources to other client systems. Yeah. So when you host, most of the websites we host, they are mostly being hosted on a Linux server. So, well, there is a Windows server too, but most people are not using it. The commonly used server is a Linux server because of its security and it runs diverse. The most popular softwares can be enabled easily on it, such as Java, PHP can run on your cloud Linux system. You get. So now the SSH, which is the secure shell is a means by which we access the Linux server. What do we do with it? So what does it allow us to access? Allow us to access the directory, allow us to enter commands to the Linux system. You could have access to the directory, the file server the file server part on your Linux, the user part. So it's limited. So for Linux, it's pure blast screen. You are interfacing with the kernel of the operating system, the Linux operating system. You're operating with the kernel. So we operate it by entering commands. So this command, we use it to set up network. You get set up network, firewalls, set up file systems, and set up other major configurations. Yeah, major configurations. So that is why we access um, we're accessing our Linux through the SSH. All right, that apart, we can access our computer, a server, virtually. Virtually, what I mean virtually is that assuming I want to access my Windows operating system is hosted on a server, and I want to operate a system just as I'm operating the system. I want you, for example, to be able to access my computer, just everything, my desktop and everything, just as it is what we call virtual hosting, virtual accessing, remote desktop connection. So that is for accessing for Windows. So let us not speak too much. This is just like a cover-up to lay more explanation on what we're able to cover up last week. So now, we learned some few commands to operate Linux. So this is going to be useful for you as a system admin, administrator. What a system administrator always doing is always trying to create users, trying to secure the system, through passwords, trying to create different users. There's a super admin. So that's why we call system admin. So there's a super user that creates other minute user you get on a operating system to access resources on the system and also to restrict access to some particular thing on the system. So that is what system admin does. So in career path in integration and testing, you can also consider learn a little thing about system admin. Yeah, so you could have some idea. It will broaden your knowledge the more. So last week we were able to see on Linux. Oh, my network has disconnected. Let me reconnect my Linux server, accessing through the SSH. I'm logging as admin, so I'm a super admin for this system. Does it log me in? Okay, I'm logged in. Yeah. So if I want to check my path, where am I? I use pwd command. So I'm under home, under admin. So let me show you the file system of Linux. I did cd // will take you to the root path. You get, just like your phone, when you enter the file storage system, the first internal storage folders you see is the root part of that phone. So to access my my root folder, to go to my root folder, we do cd change directory. Cd is change directory // will take me to my. So if I want to see the list of, just as you open your mobile phone, you're able to see the list of your folders under your internal storage. If I want to see those on my system here, on my Linux, I will type pwd. Oh, no, not pwd, ll. It means list. I can do ls. You see, it can list it in different mode. L in different mode. Ll. Let me do ll. Ll command is for list. So what is command? Command accepts a acceptable word, a variable, for example, a word that the computer operating system understand. So when we say a command, it means you are giving an instruction to the computer to do something for you. So we have different command instructions. So now, when you have to learn some command to know how they are being used. So ll is used to list everything under a particular directory. We're under the root directory at the moment. So ll root directory. So this is everything that has to do with this operating system of this Linux. You don't joke with it. Don't delete. One of the rule of the game on Linux is don't delete. Before you delete, try to back up. You get. So now, in this directory, where here I'll show you a typical place where I'm hosting a particular web application. It's under etc. Yeah, etc. I do cd etc, meaning change directory to etc. List, then list the folders under etc. You see, I have a lot of folder under etc. I'm not interested in etc. I think, which other one am I interested in? CD. Yes. There's a particular part I want to go through. VAR. All right, is this one. CDVR, CDWWW. They are standard. So every new Linux system has this file, has these root folders. So each one has their importance, their functionality. So I go to CDWWW. So CDWWW, then CDHTML. So right here, this is where I have my some web application being hosted. You get. This I have application being hosted. So if you are coming new as a Linux server, so as a Linux user, you need to understand this. You get. So this has my website that I upload. So through this, if the IP of my of this server is what's the IP? The IP, this is the IP here. This is my IP. So this IP, look at it. So I'm going to teach you what is called ports today. So this IP, this is ports. Then this is a server. This is a web application. But I'm not doing that. It's my IP. Okay. Then King's Trivia Portal. Okay, now this is an application. You see, King's Trivia Portal. I'll show you where it is. This is it here. This is it. King's Trivia Portal. This is it. So every time I enter this IP / this King's Trivia Portal, is accessing what is inside this guy. See this guy highlighted here. It's accessing it. King's Trivia Portal. So I just needed to show us so that we are familiar with these things. Yeah, that when we say application being hosted somewhere and it's being accessed, what we need to know, okay, what is happening? How was it accessed? How did you get this website? This website, I did it on my desktop, then I'll just upload it on this server. The moment I upload it, then it will be accessible under this IP. Even though there are some configuration that have been done underneath it, you get. So that is some of the things we do. I can enter this, CD King's Trivia Portal, and see what I have underneath it. You see, these are the files underneath my web application. You see CD assets. Assets is what stores our images. I used to store images and things like that. CSS, CSS, that's my CSS file. Images, that's my images file. I say CD images, then list everything under images. You could see everything under images, .jpeg, this and that. So these are all the resources available for this website. You get. So that said and done. Under Linux, you can. I don't want to. Okay, let's try to create a folder. Let me go to one. Okay, enter this directory. I want to try to create a folder. You know, on your Windows, what you just do is you just come here, just right click, you see new, then create a new folder, and a folder is created. So it's not done like that on Linux. Linux, you need to learn to create a folder. So how do we create a folder? Just I'm training us through using Google to do your work. Google, we have Chat, GPT now. We have various resources online that you can use to learn. You can use to make your work faster. How to create a folder on Linux. It will give you the command how to create a folder on Linux. You could see many things. You see this command, make mkdir, meaning make directory. That's the meaning of this command. Then you put the directory name, space the directory name. So this is what it's trying to tell us. How do we do that? This is the path I want to create it. I want to create a folder under this folder. I just say mkdir, make directory. That's what it means. Tayo. Bam. The directory has been created. If I say ll, it means list everything under the current directory I'm in. You see Tayo directory. This is Tayo. You see Tayo directory has been created. So I will tell you the instance where all these things are needed. I can say cd Tayo. If I want to create a file under Tayo, I want to create a txt file. Say vi. How do we create it? You use vi command to create a file. What's the name of the file? I want to create it. I want to name it learning.txt. The extension, you have to put it there. The extension of the file, you must put it there. You get the extension .txt, which means it's a text file. vi.txt. I enter. You see what it does. What you are seeing here is actually like a notepad, like your regular notepad, but it's a black screen. So you can type hello. Oh, okay. This is about to time out the next 10 minutes. So you say hello. Can type. You see, I'm trying to type. I can't type anything. So before you type, I enter I. I means insert. Begin to insert. You can see this insert at the bottom screen on my left hand side here. Insert, meaning I'm in an insert mode. Meaning I can enter dig it in this file that I just created. Hello Joshua. Hope you are cool. Hope you are cool. Your number is 070-335-907-0788. So you see, I've written inside it. It's just like I open a notepad here. So I'll be showing the equivalent on Windows. Yeah, the equivalent on Windows is this. Look at it. This, I open notepad on Windows. Copy this one. Then have it on Windows here. For example, I Control V. You see, hello Joshua. This is just this replica of what I've done. Then on Windows, I'll just save it. But if I want to save it, how do I save? Number one, you press your escape button. Escape. After you escape it, then you do what? You now instruct the computer to escape. Means don't accept any typing on it. After escape, if I want to still type anything, I will press I again. I will return it back to insert mode. Look at your bottom of this command screen at the left-hand side. It's in insert mode again. If I press escape, it's no longer in insert mode. So I want to save now. If I want to save, I will press this column. Look at your bottom, the bottom screen on the left-hand side. Column Q, W, Q, meaning write and quit it. This column means accept this command. W means write it into the file, save into the file, and Q means quit it. If I press enter, you see, this file has been created. If I want to view it now, I can say VI learning. Bam. You see, this is my file I've created. So this is how these things are done in. And if I want to close it, I'll just my escape colon and Q, meaning quit it alone. You see, that is how these things are done. So this is how files is being created on Linux server. So those are the basic commands you can learn on Linux server. I want to teach you how to search. Hello, Joshua. I just want to confirm if you are still with me.
Yes, I am with you.
All right, thank you, bro. Thank you. All right, so now the next thing is I would like to do this one. This number four, searching. Sorry, we have to go through all this rigor. It's very, very important because it will help a lot so that you know. For example, I can just take us where we are going at the end of this training is, you see, this is where we are going to. This, you see, where I am, this is Postman. This is where to test APIs. This is very simple and this is very interesting thing to learn. But if I take you here directly, you might just learn the surface. You might not know the depth of what is happening within the system. So you must know what is happening within the system first before coming here. So this is the tool actually we need to learn at the end of everything. But I'm taking us through a very hard route. So this route, you must pay attention to it. Learn beyond our training, learn beyond it so that you can have deep roots. And when you are being onboarded in any company to work, you understand clearly what you are communicating with. So when we begin to talk system to system, you know that, okay, system is just one computer behind somewhere. And what type of computer is it? A Linux computer or this? Then if it's a Linux, okay, how do I log into the system? Then when you see the files, you see the file directory, you know what you are doing. You know, okay, which part do I need to go? I need to go here or there. All right, now, the next thing I want to teach you is searching. All right, so searching is this. For example, what is searching? Searching is, for example, I want to search for this phone number on this document. This is my notepad on my Windows. Now, I just type Control F and just put the number there. Then, can you find it? Don't mind. Find. You see, it's able to highlight it, meaning it's able to find this. And if I put 87, it will tell me cannot find this number. You get, so it's the same thing we want to do online because this is very, very important. It's one of the key things that you need. One of the skill you need. You need it very much. You need it. You need it really, really much because when you are onboarded on a wall, for example, you're onboarded in an enterprise that, like a banking industry, like a banking system or a telecoms that has a lot of record of files. There's something we call logs. You get, we are used to log just like when we are recording, doing record, when we are doing experiments in school and they tell us, do you keep log of your experiment? You log, like you're able to give reports that, okay, this after I was able to do this testing, titration, this is what I found out. Those log informations that we have at the end of an experiment. So also is the same for an application. When an application executes, every point an application executes, it's working on a system. It litters it with a log. What is the essence of this log? The essence of this log is to be able to troubleshoot, to be able to know where there's an exception, where there's an error. So if you get a job in a company, an organization, one of the things you'll be doing is you must be able to check logs, file system, to be able to check that, okay, we receive this number, try to send an SMS to this number. Okay, and the system, this number tried to report that I couldn't get, I didn't receive SMS, even though this number said send an SMS to me. So what do you do? Well, this is what customer support do. You get customer support receive the request, receive the problem, and they submit it to the system engineers. The system engineers are the one that are now checking the system to confirm if the claim is true. Confirm if the claim is true, or check if the system is misbehaving anomally. You get. So these are the points, I think these are the points things we'll learn next. This is what we are going to learn now. This is very, very key and very important. You get very, very key and very important. Yeah, in this training. It sums up a lot of work that we do in the organization. Let me cite some example again. You know, for example, you try to make a bank transfer. You know, the epileptic way of Nigerian bank is try to make a bank transfer and you transfer a money from GTB to Access Bank. And you are debited and the person you send the money to did not receive it. Then after 2 days, you are trying to tell the person that the receiver that don't worry, you will receive it. And the person did not receive it. The next thing you want to do is you log a complaint online on the banking portal, or you go to the banking or to log a complaint. So when you log the complaint, that the people you log the complaint to are customer support. So the customer support take your request, create a ticket request on their system, then submit it to the system. The system engineers get the ticket. When they get the ticket, they are able to get the description that, okay, somebody with the name Joshua Sumola with this account number, your vital information with this BVN information, said he tried to transfer money from his account to this number and it was debited, but the receiver did not receive it. So what is system engineer now going to receive it? What is system engineer going to check? So that's what are they going to check? How are they going to get it resolved is the next stuff we want to do right away. You get. So I'm going to close it up here, and so that I won't let the Zoom to time me out. But let's wait while the Zoom time out. So in the next 1 minute, it will time me out, and please reconnect again so that we'll finalize it. This training once on that. All right. So I have an application running on my computer under this directory, OPT directory. OPT directory is the directory I personally use to hold my Java applications. These are a list of Java applications I have running for a client. Yeah, Paycraft, 9mobile, Breakout, Broadbase, different. These are different applications you see here. So I'm going to go to one active one. For example, let me go to the one that has less traffic, Paycraft Licho. So CD Paycraft Licho. Licho LL, list what is underneath it. So this is the jar file that is running. The second one is just the backup. It's just I back it, meaning before I uploaded this jar file, I had to back up this jar file. So this jar file is my application I actually built. All right, as I was saying earlier, this is my Java application. You see, this is the Java application. It has been compiled and uploaded on this server. So I can access it. Yeah, I can access this application. You get, users can access it. It's doing a particular thing. It's executing a thing. Now, for every application, for every standard enterprise application, there must be log file. You get, except we just want to create one simple application that is not up to 100 people that are accessing it. Or the moment it's more than 100 people, we must create a log file so that you can leave an imprint. You know, the log file is just like a black box on an airplane. You know, when an airplane crashes, you get the black box to know what went wrong. So that is how every application must have a log file. The log file leaves the footprint, every footprint of how the application was executed, how it was running. Did it hit an exception? Was there a problem somewhere? Every transaction that a user engage in, transaction, I mean, like maybe you try to transfer money, try to send an SMS, you try to get your Facebook friends list, everything must be written. The imprint of it must be in a log file. So this is my log directory. It came with the application. So I will change directory to logs. And by the way, if you want to ask question, please interject me. You get, interject me, ask question so that it is clear for you. Your voice is low and I can't hear you, Joshua. Can you speak louder again, please? Please.
Can we call the log also a journal?
Exactly. Yeah, you are right. You are right. You're accurate with it. Yeah. It's also, yeah, just like a journal. It's the same thing. You are perfectly right. Like a journal, it leaves footprint down. It's for you for tracing, for future tracing. And also it helps you to be able to gather, it helps you to know the health state of your application. For example, I have this application and I want to know how many times my application hits an exception. For example, you want to know maybe why users are trying to access your application, they are getting timeout. For example, you are trying to send money with a banking app, and frequently it's timing out. You can get that timeout scenario from the log. You cannot get it elsewhere. So the application must be able to write, must be able to know how many times you got a timeout. For example, in the festive period, you can discover that, okay, in festive period last year, we got timeout like 1 million times in a day on December 25. Then that will, you see, this is where data analysts come in. This is what we do in a work environment. You're able to so in 2023, in 2021, you got a lot of exceptions, timeout from the system. Users were complaining they couldn't make transactions. So what the business will do is, before December 2022, they gather everybody together and say, okay, we need to provide a proper user experience for our user. They're not like, okay, the engineering team, tell us why were they complaining last year? So we will now come back, go into the log system, check how many times we got timeout. We search for something called timeout. So this is where you learn how to search. You search. You get how many counts for timeout, how many counts for exceptions. Then we'll be able to why are we getting timeout? Investigate deeper. You might not discover that, okay, you now check the system memory. System memory. How do I get system memory? Top command. Oh, okay. This one does not allow top command. You can now check. I will teach you that. You can now check the system memory, the usage of the resources of your system, to be able to based on the usage of this system, the RAM is supposed to allow is 16 gig RAM. And for me, this application is consuming close to 15 gig RAM. You'll be able to know, you now discover that, the TPS, transaction per second, is so much. So you'll be able to advise the business that we will need an expansion. An expansion is actually increasing the capacity of a system. We need the expansion, we need to increase the RAM, need to increase maybe if you have, in the network environment, you can have 10 computers communicating together. You get to be able to, for capacity, maybe to say, let us increase our server from 10 to 12, from 15. You're able to give that advice. So these are what we do in our working environment. You're able to give advice based on the footprint of the log. So we've spoken too much. Top command is supposed to give you access to your system usage. Top is not coming. Let me check. Let me see here. Google how to check memory usage on Linux. You can see how to check memory usage on Linux. Forgotten that command. There's a particular command. There are diverse command we use. We can use this. So many, you see, there are so many things that you might not know. Once you are given the suggestion online, just type it, but be careful, it's not something that will delete any record on your system. Okay, you see, this is an example of a command that shows me all memory usage on my system. But this is not, I'm not satisfied with this. Top command is a very useful. Okay, there's another one called free. So you can learn further. Free. Okay, free. You can see total memory. This is 16 gig. I have 16 gig in my total memory. Used. How many gig have been used? I've used barely 2.6 gig. I'm using barely 2.6 gig. I have left with 2.2 gig. You can see. So this gives me information about what is obtainable on my system. Then let me check. Assuming the top command, I've used it before. I don't know why it's not coming up, but I'll check why it's not working at this time. Top. I don't know why top is not working. Top. Okay, maybe small letter. Okay, I think it's small letter. Another thing, Linux is case sensitive. Case sensitive. Oh, this is it. So this is stop command. Okay. Also, by the way, you might wonder, Joshua, that you don't have a Linux. You don't have a Linux on your system. I'll teach you how to get a Linux. You get to learn all these things. I'll teach you how to get it. If you are you using? Okay, in case you are using a Windows operating system, there is something called virtual machine. Outside of this meeting, or maybe in our next meeting, I'll teach us how to have another operating system on your Windows operating system. For example, I have an Apple operating system on my laptop. You get, I'm using VMware. So this is a virtual machine I installed on my computer. So I use virtual machine to run another operating system. You get, so that I can be able to, what is obtainable on the other operating system, I can also get it on my computer that I'm using. So you can get a virtual machine on your computer, on your desktop, on your laptop, desktop computer, to run another operating system. You can install Linux on it, you get, so that you can also practice all these, you can practice all these commands. It can prepare you for a future job. You get, you can prepare you for that. So this I'm running here, this is Apple. You see, I'm on Windows. I'm using Windows operating system, but I can run Apple. I use this Apple to run some of my mobile applications that have to compile Apple, because I have to compile iOS for iOS device, because I cannot compile iOS application on Windows. So I needed to get a VMware, a virtual machine. I installed Macintosh Ventura, the latest Macintosh for Apple. I installed it on it, and I'm able to ask anything accessible on Apple laptop today. You can access it from here. You see. So this is another screen. Yeah. So the same thing you can do for Linux, but maybe I'll try and get a training guide for that, for you to do that, so that you can have a Linux system on your laptop through a virtual machine, so that you can also learn. So now this is top command. Top command, you see, it shows all application users on my system. This is my SQL. This is Java JVM applications on my system. It shows the usage. It shows the CPU. See the CPU here. It shows the memory. So you're able to see if you are overutilizing your CPU. You also know if you are overutilizing your memory based on percentage. So you see, I'm not really using much on this. We are not using much on this Linux server. The highest we are using is 1.7% for CPU. Our memory is 3.3%. So we are not really using much to get. If I want to escape it, I just press, how do I escape it? Okay, Control C. I use Control C to escape it. Okay, so let's go back to our work. I had to interject there to give more perspective on a real life working scenario in working environment. So CD opt, CD paycraft Licho. Under Licho, I have my Java application running, and I have my logs. CD logs. This is logs. Oh, now C logs. So my application is taking care of logs for me. This is the current logs. The current logs. So as the logs get to a particular file size, it will create a new one by itself. So the application is taking care of that. So it will archive the other ones. So you see, this is the log for 2023. So if this King's logs is, yeah, Joshua, I can hear you. Yeah.
The log now. Is it automatically created, or you are the one that creates that log?
I will show it to you. See, this is my Java application. This is exactly Licho. This is Licho. This is the application. I will show you the logs. I will always like to show you a real life scenario so that everybody sees it as it is. I will show you where the configuration is. The thing is, the log is being configured from the application layer, from the application level. You get. You see, this is where I configure the logs. So the logs, when it gets to, look at this guy. So when it gets to a maximum file size is 1 megabyte. So when it gets to 1 megabyte, it's going to create a new log. And this is the prefix it's using to create logs. .yyyy-mm/dd. What does this mean? Year, month, and day. Look at my log system. Look at my log system. You see, year 2022, 10.06. So what it does is every time this kings.log gets to 1 megabyte, it will create it, it will back it up to a new file called kings.log.2022 today is January 01 today is 26. You get? So that is how it does. So it's my application that takes care of that. You get? So many applications have a different behavior, but through this, you can able to see your application, how your logs. This is just showing the logs that has been generated by the application. So application generate the logs by itself. So for example, I want to view what is under these logs. I can use cat command. Cat command can allow me to view only. You see, view only. Cat command, cat kings.log. Cat kings is this log, this guy, this file I want to get. Cat kings.log. I can also use VI. VI kings. I'll use VI if I want to modify anything. You know, VI can be used to create a file, can be used to modify a file. But I don't want to, I'm not interested in it. So let me use cats. I'll tell you where to use cat also. Cat kings.log. So able to view my logs. If I enter, so these are everything under my logs. These are logs. I don't want to bore you with this. I don't want to bore you. Let me check for another one that is a log that is much that we can use as example again. This one is even small. You'll see some logs are very large. If I run this, you see, this is much. This is a little bit much. Let me take you to this is a little bit much. But let's go to another application that has a very much file size. CD, Backcraft, Madapi, logs, this per se. You see, this one has a very much logs, very much log. Because this is a live application. Users are using it as we are speaking. So let me say cat kings.logs. King.log is just a name of a file. So other logs, you can see some don't use .log, some use .txt, some use .csv. So different extension. You can also, let me view this. Okay. That's giving me an error. 01 2022. Okay, 12 29. Okay, 12 15.5. Let me check this. You see, this is much. It keeps running. So you could see. So which means these are all of footprint of the application at this particular time. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of things to search for. You get, but I can do this. If I want to be viewing it small, I'll put this pipe command. I'll just put more. Then I'll be pressing enter. So it will be loading more. As I keep pressing enter, to be loading more. You see, to be loading more. So this is, for example, a file, a log system. You'll be working with this a lot if you are going to be working on whereby you'll be logging to the server and things like that. You'll be doing this a lot. Yeah. So that's a part. So now let us try to search in this. Now you could see complication. Complication is you have a lot of file system, and you're looking for Joshua's account number. And how do you know which file to search from? Which file hold Joshua account number? Which file do you need to check? So that is where how to search comes from. How do you search? You know, on Windows, you can only search one file at a time. But display, let me stop my virtual machine. Sorry. Okay, thank you. So now, how do you search all of these files? You know, for example, Joshua said that he made the transaction on December 2012, December 2022, 15. How do you now search? Because we have a lot of file under December 12, 15. You get? So how can we search everything? You know, it has intelligence. You have to apply intelligence. What do I need to search? Where do I check? Which file do I check? So we use a command called grep. Hold on with that. I'm trying to look for one particular thing I want us to search for. Okay, don't worry. We'll search for it. Now, we use something called grep. Grep. Let me clear the screen so that you can see clearly. We use something called grep. Grep. Grep is a command word that is used to search. You get grep. Grep is a command word. So I can say grep, then search for Tayo's phone number. Or let me do like this. My phone number 2347033590787. Search for my phone number. Then search it from kings.log. Bam, it didn't find anything. That's why it brought me out here. Assuming I want to say search all this entire file. Everything. I want to search everything. What do I do? This is what I will do. Let me clear my screen again. Search the whole of this entire file. The whole of this directory. Search it. I will put star. Star means all. Grep, my number, star. Search all the file. Grep is the command. This is the phone number, is what I want to search for. Star is this next column is identifying is used to identify the file you want to search, how you want to search it, maybe all or a specific file. So I put star. You see, what did it do? It brought out all instances where my phone number is. You could see the one that what is highlighted in red. What is highlighted in red is telling you all where my phone number is. Do you get all where my phone number is? So through this, we can, as someone that understands an application runs, can be able to like check and see that, okay, Tayo actually make a transaction at this particular time. Okay, maybe an exception happened, or there's a rollback, something happened. You could be able to denote it from here. You get. Now, another command is, I'm able to search that. Another thing is, you can be able to tell the computer that I want to search how many times does Tayo occur. How many times does this my phone number occur in all of this file system? I put pipe, I pipe it, then I type a command called WC minus L. WC minus L is used to do word count. WC means word count. WC minus L. So it's going to tell me how many occurrences this number occur. It occurs 376 times. Do you get? So how does this apply? This applies to a situation when you want to get how many times does exception occur on this system. For example, I want to check how many times I have an exception. I can just type exception. Exception is when the application hits a problem. EXECP. EXECP. Then star. Let me do more. You can see. EX. Did I get the spelling right? And Joshua. Exception.
No.
EXC. Okay. Exception. Oh. You can see. Now you could see something like, or let me just type. I want to check how many times it's an error. You see, it keeps showing me list of error. These are error situations. See error. These are errors. You can see error here. These are error. These are instances where, now let me use this for example. Now this is I think this will be very beautiful to use. Now you could see something I highlight here called subscriber has insufficient balance. So which means a transaction failed here because subscriber has insufficient balance. Well, so what does it mean? It means that we have error of insufficient balance occurring. So, and this is associated to associated to this number. It means this number, if this number complained that it was unable to complete a transaction at this day, when we search the system, we're able to decode to know that, oh, it failed because of insufficient balance. So most time, what engineers do, system engineers do in bank, this is major work they do. You get, this is the back-end work they do. You get. So now I want to now check how many times do we have insufficient balance case. I highlight this. Then how many times do we have insufficient balance case? Can just put insufficient balance here. insufficient balance, then do word count for it, WC, in all of the system now. Word count L. How many times? You see, it gave me an error. So what I need to do is, I think I need to put this apostrophe, or what do they call it? I know, that's what's it. See, I have insufficient balance in all of transaction, almost 25,000 times. Is it no? Almost 257,000 times. You get, I have subscriber as insufficient balance case. You get. But now, you see, this particular case happened on this particular day. I can say that upon this particular, under this file, look at this file. Under this file, kings.log.2022-07-15. So I want to check all the insufficient balance on that particular file alone. That file, if you want to see that file, this is it. LL. Okay. Okay, let's forget that. Okay, so want to check for that file. So we have, instead of putting star, I put the file name now. You get dot. Instead of putting star is to search all. I now put a specific file name there. Let me put more so that it doesn't just load everything once. You see. So these are all insufficient balance happening for that particular day. So what have you been able to learn here? You're able to search for a particular value in files, in a particular file, in all of the file. And you can also search for a particular date. For example, let me clear the screen. You want to see everything that happened. You know, this log system shows me everything that happened on I can check everything that happened on July 5th, 2022, July 15. Or I want to check everything that happened in July. In July. What I'll do is 2022/-07, then I'll put star behind it. Star means anything behind in July. It can be July 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I've put star, star will aggregate everything, combine everything together, and do the search across all board. More. You see, it will be bringing more of what has happened within that period of time. Yeah, within everything that happened within July. So we have, so this actually, you have to do a lot. It's beyond this meeting. You have to train yourself intentionally beyond there. Do so many scenarios, search. It's until when you get into the working environment, you will really do work. But I will wish you could install, I want that to be your assignment against next week. Try to install a virtual machine, Linux on your system. I will send you a training guide that can help you in doing that. And also, I can get some files here. I will send it to you on your system so that you can upload it to a Linux part. I want you to get used to it. Once you upload it to the part, you can begin to search. I will begin to give you some assignment of some task of what to do. You get also, yeah. So that is what I will want you to do, bro. So I think that is that. One thing, before I round up, one thing I would like to round up with is, something. Okay, now there's something called awk command. So we might not be able to cover this now. Awk command. So awk command, this is where the scripting, the programming comes in Linux. This is where you learn how to program. You learn how to program. I mean, not program per se, but you become very intelligent with your work. For example, now, there are some instances where grep cannot. For example, you want to search situation where the user is Joshua. Joshua is the number, MSI is there. And it also have a case of subscriber has insufficient balance. You want to combine the criteria, the two criteria together. You want to know how many occurrences did Joshua occur with insufficient balance in the log system. This, we are not checking the database in the log system. You want to check how many occurrences, like how many occurrences you do have this criteria and this criteria and this criteria, like 3 different criteria. Check the count. In the count, sum it up together, divide, do some analysis, some calculations on it. So that is where we use something called awk command, AWK. Please, I'll put it on the chat. Read about it. Awk command. Read about awk command. You get, read about awk command, AWK. So it's where it is the programming side of Linux, of scripting, you get. So if we have time, we're able to do it next class. We've already consumed enough time for today. So the last thing I will like to just cover up and use to round up for today is the firewall part. Firewall. So now, let me explain firewall to you. You know, we have something called, I told you something called, there's something called ports. So this is IP. This IP is a representation. IP represents a particular system. It's the identity of a system. You get IP address. Yeah, I know you're aware of that. There's something called port. Port is like a system having several channels of accessing it. So I want a system to host so many applications, but through different channels. So I can say that my application is hosted under this port 9020. Do you know the default port for every system? The default port is port 80. Is the default port. You get port 80 is the default port. You want to ask a question? Exactly, you get it. Yeah, 80. Those are the default ports. So you can have different ports. Hosting those different ports, different applications are running underneath them. So now this is where firewall comes in. So on Linux server, you can block it if a port, if you don't open it, if a port is not open, no matter what, people cannot access it outside. For example, this 98 port, I had to enable it on the Linux. So now, how do you check a port? Check your port configured on your Linux. I have a command there to keep it. So I'm done here for now. Let's start TULPN grep listen. Is to listen to all ports. These are all the ports. Open all my Linux. These are all the ports. All the ports. But I have 10 minutes more to round up, Joshua. So 92, 98, 92, 97, 92, 96. I opened all these ports for myself. So this is where networking configuration comes in. So if I disable this port, people can't access application on my server anymore. So this is where firewall configuration. So I have to show you this so that when you are reading up on firewall, you have an idea. You get, and if you want to configure a firewall, if I want to enable a port now, this is all I need to do. Ports, what I just need to do is this. I just need to firewall command add port 80. You can see 80 here. I will just put maybe 9123. Oh, no, not there. Let me say 9123. It's a new port I want to enable, 9123. I'll just put it there. Then if I click enter, it will enable that port immediately. You get. Then after that, it will enable it. So you can, this command also, let me send it to you so that you are conversant with it. You can save it down. So we have many things. So this is where firewall can be configured on your Linux server. You get, can be configured through a command to enable a port. You can use it to block a port. You can use it to block some particular IP from accessing you. You can use it to create access to some IP, block some IP, filter those IP away. You get, so everything is done through command on Linux. So this command is used to access all the ports enabled on my system. You can still listening. It means I'm listening to all these ports. You get, so that is the part of ports, the part of firewall on Linux. So what else is pending that we're unable to cover? So I think we're unable to cover for capturing network data packets using Wireshark, configuring firewall. Okay, configuring firewall on Linux, I'm able to show that. Using grep command to search for words and files on Linux, able to cover that. So now, we are going to, in our next class, we'll look for, we'll begin to work with API. I hope we're able to API and also capturing packet. So capturing packet is like, okay, I try to access a banking server. You get, or we are trying to integrate two systems together. This system is saying that I'm trying to reach your system, but your system is not replying back. So what in system engineering, what we do, what we ask is share us your TCP dump. That's what you hear. TCP dump means share us your packet information, meaning that I don't trust your word. You can be saying that you can't access my system, but the truth of what you are saying will be found in your network packet. Meaning every time I try to initiate a request from a server to another server, there's a network footprint. So we capture TCP trace. The TCP trace shows all the network journey from my server to your server. So I will be able to see it there if it's true that you are trying to access my server. You get, I don't know if you have heard of something like that before, Joshua. You are trying to access another server and try to... What do you say? Packet. Yeah. Exactly. All right. So I'm going to show you how to. So we are going to check how to do that. How to sniff a packet. So packet is trying to you send the data, you send the request from this server to the other server, and you're able to trap it. You're able to get it. This is what hackers does. They try to sniff through your server and open up TCP trace. Begin to get all of your information of your communication from one computer to the other one. So this is what hackers does. So we use this for troubleshooting to be able to know how to troubleshoot, how to know if we are able to reach a network, we're able to get feedback from that network. So it's part of network, a web network infrastructure troubleshooting, or it goes together. So we can't do it apart. So we have to do it together. So now in this meeting, we're able to cover up for file system, a file system mechanism, creating directory, accessing directory, check a file, search in a file. So you can read on that, more broader on that. We're able to check for firewall to configuration. And we are just able to check the basic things on Linux. We're able to do an overview on Linux. So please try to install a VM. I will give you the training guide. Please remind me how to install a VMware so that you can have a Linux. In case you don't have Linux, get a Linux on your system and can begin. It will prepare you, because when you get to a working environment, you are going to be interfacing with a line. In short, some interview will be asking some Linux commands, some Linux questions, and you are able to be able to answer them. As far as you've seen something in a training like this, you're able to answer to it. You get. So I think this brings us to the end of today's training. If you have any question, let me know so that can take it. We can round up for today. So that will be all for today. So I'm going to prepare this video for last week and upload them together on Monday. So do you have any questions, Joshua?
No questions for now. I'll try and wrap my brain around it.
Okay, yeah. No problem. But just try and get yourself the VMware. I'll give you the training guide immediately and begin installations. When you begin to meet some error, then you are being welcome to the tech world, because you'll be frustrated. You meet so many blockage, then you try to resolve it, try to follow some solutions on the internet. This is how experience is gained. So begin to build experience. Before I could be able to come to know how to add firewall and everything, a lot of blockage I met. So right now, I have a whole lot of experience around it. So thank you. That will be all for tonight. So I will also make this video available, upload it on YouTube so that others can have access to it. So that will be all for tonight, Joshua. I hope we are able to get one or two things.
I got a lot of things.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. All right. Take care. So I will end it here for now. Thank you. Bye.